And hello everyone, welcome back to another CSS tutorial. So in this tutorial we'll be taking a look at CSS colors and backgrounds. So let's start off with just selecting this p tag. And we've done this already quite a lot, so color red. And this is applying color with this specific word. So this is CSS color names. You can do something like tomato as well. Give it a tomato-ish color, orange, blue, whatever. So this is very simple CSS coloring. You also get color values, such as RGB, hexadecimal, and HSL. And there are more, but I'm not going to cover more of them. Let's say you want RGB. You already know what RGB is. Red, green, blue. Your keyboard might be RGB. So this defines how much the red, the green, and the blue should be. Where 0, on all three, the red, the green, and the blue, will provide black. And where the maximum value, 255, that's the maximum value they can all be, this will provide white. And of course you can choose things in between. So let's say you want, let's make them all 0 again. Let's say you only want red, that would be 255. The maximum red. Let's say you only want green, that will be in the middle, 255. So because red, green, blue, that will be fully green. And let's say you want blue, 255, blue. And of course you can mix and match. So here we could go 76, which will give a purplish blue, and here we could maybe go 90, and it will give a lighter blue. And here we could even say 100, and now it will give you this grayish color. Usually you can just play around with this, see what you like, see what you don't. VS Code even gives us a nice little dragger here, which we can use to change the coloring how we want. Save that, now we have this greenish color. And then finally you can also add another one here, A. This means opacity. So here if we go 0, you'll see it turns invisible. Still there, but it's invisible, because the alpha channel, the opacity, is 0, 1 being the maximum. Would have made more sense if it was 255 also, but 1 is the maximum. And then here we go 0.5, then will be half see-through. So this makes it see-through. But that's also for a later tutorial, a bit more complex. Then you have hexadecimal, which is usually defined with 6 letters after a hashtag. This case, if means white, where 0000000 means black. Now let me break this up for you. So first of all, the lowest is 0, and it can go up until 9. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Right? Then you jump into letters. So A, B, C, D, E, F. So this is all of the values one of these can hold, from 0 up until F, where F is the lightest and 0 is the darkest. Now, when we go like this, we have hashtag 000000, where this first part would be red, green, blue. Same, RGB. So this will be red, green, and blue, where this first two will represent red. So if the first two was FF, it will be red. Just like with RGB, where the first one was 255, it would be red. Here, if F means red. Because 00 here, and we make this here, then it will be blue. So these two define how that specific color will look. So if I go F5, now we get a pinkish color, because this red isn't fully red. If we go 00, this red only translates to, it does translate to red, but you'll notice if we take a look here, if it will stay up, there we go. So it's not completely red. If you see there's a little space there because it was changed a little bit. And of course you could do something like F0. Let's take a look here. There's a larger space. And of course you could change these to how you want. So I can go 55 and then also 0F. And this will give this orangish color here. These are the ones you will usually mostly be working with, unless you get into the more complex things where you'll start using HSL and stuff like that. which is hue, saturation, and lightness. I'm not going to cover HSL, but you can go and read up on this if you want to. But for me, I generally don't work out of RGB, hexadecimal, and just the color value name, so green, for example. Also with hexadecimal, you can slim it down to 3, so if, and now each value will only have one letter referring to it. So here if I were to say 0, and as you can see, these two are at full, but this one is not full, so then you get this bluish color. If you do this, then it will be completely blue. You can also add an alpha channel to it, so if you go 0 here at the end, it will be unseeable because that's the alpha channel, and if you make this F again, then you get to see everything. And so it's kind of like rgba, which we covered, but just in F format, you know. But it's up to you. You'll get more comfortable with it as the more you use it, because you'll see the more you use it, the more you'll start to just remember how it works and figure it out. Cool. Now let's take a look at backgrounds while we're at it. Backgrounds allows you to set background colors to things. For example, let's say I want to add a background color to this text. Well, then I can go background color, and here we could go hashtag F0F, which will translate to this pinkish color. And I'll see it has a background color. You could also specify background image. And here we could say URL, and we can just specify the image. So image.jpg. So this image right here. Now if I save that, you'll see there's a background image there now. If this text was longer, so let's say lorem times 30, you'll see this. It actually repeats here. So you'll see it right here. There's like a line, and you'll see this happening quite often. So you'll see it constantly repeats. And we'll tweak that in a second, where we can go background repeat. And here we could say no repeat. Now the background will not repeat. Once it ends, it ends. You can also say the background position. So background position, and we could say right bottom. So it will be positioned at the bottom right of this. So if we go down here, now you'll see it's there at the bottom, and it starts here at the right side. Of course, you can fit all of this within this one background argument like this. So where you have your URL, then you can specify the position, so right bottom, and you can also specify if it should be repeating. There we go. So now we did the same thing, but now it's in one line instead of having to break it up into multiple smaller lines. You can also specify the background size, so background size, and we could do something like 100 pixels, 100 pixels. And now you'll notice it's much smaller, and we can actually just bring this back up here to the top. And there we go. And then of course, if you remove the no repeat, it will constantly repeat. You can also make it stretch and do a bunch of cool things. So instead of saying 100 pixels, you could say contain. And now you'll see it stretches it until the end here. So it contains this whole image, and then it starts over once it's here at the end of the image. So it stretches the image to its original aspect ratio. But you can also do cover, and this will stretch it to fill in this whole thing without having to repeat. So as you can see here. There's of course a lot more that you can do with backgrounds and stuff in CSS, but I believe this basics can open up a lot of doors for you, and you can see for yourself what you would like to do. Just a note, if you ever use a background image on text, if you're going to use it like this, make sure that the background image is either a dark color and the foreground, so the text, is a light color, or vice versa. Because here you'll see the text is a dark color, so if it goes over here, you can't see it, you have to highlight it. And of course, I would generally not recommend doing this, like with this big. Maybe like a watermark type of image, it could be good, like with just a little logo in the middle. But this specifically, not so great. And that's that. Thank you all for watching. I hope you all enjoyed. And I will see you all again in the next CSS tutorial.